Alrighty, here we are with Mr. Tipi, kind of one of the most famous players in the Manitoba scene currently. How are you doing?
Good. Good.
Alrighty, we're here after battle at the Bowman Center, Those Who Crew. Danny had a very good performance here, getting second at the bracket. Very well done to him. Very tough bracket we had here.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask you a couple questions about you to sort of familiarize ourselves with you.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, kind of first question is, how did you get your start with Smash Bros? Like, where did you start, and what was your journey up to this point?
Okay, I'm gonna start by saying trans rights. And now that I've said that, I started on Brawl. Back in the day, I got a Wii, and then my brother was like, "Yo, there's this game where there's like Mario versus Pikachu." I was like, "Yo!" And then yeah, like my dad got us a Wii, and it was like, cause like in South America, piracy is so normalized. So like it was pirated. It had like, it was supposed to be able to read like pirated discs, but then like we bought a couple of them and then it didn't work. So then we had to send it back, and the guy at the store was very lazy, and I didn't get to play Smash Bros with my Wii until 1 month after we got the Wii. So it was very sad. But then once I played it, I became addicted, and I dropped my. I was taking drums lesson at the time, and I would just skip classes because I wanted to play free for all, random only, all items, all stages, and that's how I started. And then yeah, eventually like with For Glory Smash 4, like once that game came out, I actually became like more competitive. And then like yeah, they hosted a tournament in one of those like Comic Cons in Ecuador. One setup, 32 entrants. So started at like 1 p.m., ended at like 8. And the first prize was an Link amiibo. So I spent 7 hours gaming and I got myself the Link amiibo. Yeah, so that's how I started.
Okay, perfect. Uh, just kind of a follow up with that. What was your kind of like character in Smash 4, and what character are you playing right now?
Well, it was still Bayo. But before Bayo, I actually voted for Bayo on the poll thingy that Sakurai released. Because I remember the Wii U used to give like free demos like crazy just so people would buy the console. So they did the Bayonetta 2 demo. I was like, holy, this game is raw. And then I actually bought the game and I loved it. And then, yeah. But yeah, before Bayo was CSS. It's been CSS since Brawl. Actually, it was like Brawl. I started with Link and Diddy Kong, but then eventually on Subspace I realized that CSS was a character that existed, and then I was like, holy, it's pretty cool. And then I learned that you can like just play from the start. So yeah, it was CSS until Bayo came out, and then Bayo. Since although in Ultimate I dropped Bayo when she was a low tier, and when Palutena was top tier, I just picked up Palu because I used to play Palu in Smash 4 a little bit, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got you. Uh, let's see. You are kind of famous, or rather infamous, for your opinions on a certain Shoto in Smash
Oh yeah,
Ultimate.
100%.
Do you want now that you're on the mic, do you want to get your thoughts on Kazuya
Like
out to the world?
it's very similar to how people treated me, so I'm getting my like karma back. Cause like Bayonetta in Smash 4 was, well, it was more like Ryu, but she was the hated on DLC, and everybody that plays Bayo is carried. And like Loki facts, I was definitely carried in Smash 4. I was number one in my region for like consistent amount of time and winning brackets against players that were clearly better than me. But like at the time, I was like, we take those, and then eventually you end up getting like the high level practice, and you end up becoming good at the game. So I feel like that with Kazuya. I feel like a lot of Kazuya players show up and then like they are not as good as their opponent on the game, but they still win. And then eventually they start playing against good players like James or like me, and then like get a lot of practice, and then they actually become good at the game. But they still like BS half the games. Like it's just like winning neutral ones and getting the stock is such a toxic mechanic. That should never come back in Smash, no matter the like. It can be under the certain circumstances, but how consistently Kazuya does it is like too annoying to play against. Even if like, the character's not broken, it's like obnoxious. So yeah, that's
Alright.
what
Yeah.
that does.
Yeah. Got two more questions for you. One's kind of like a hope for the future, and the other one's sort of like a dumb question I enjoy throwing in at the end. The hope for the future is there kind of like one main change you'd like to see in the next Smash game, or maybe like a new character you'd like to see? What are you kind of hoping to see in the next Smash
I
game?
don't even know how they're gonna improve. Like, definitely the one thing that I want them is to not remove characters, because that kind of goes against the spirit of like being a better game. A lot of people are like, "Oh, reboot the series." I'm like, if you reboot the series, you just do a worse game. Especially knowing that the Switch 2 can run Smash Brothers, nobody's gonna wanna buy the new game that like has like a 30, 40 characters roster. I wouldn't care if they do Ultimate Deluxe. I think that would be a good thing as long as they keep introducing like I always feel like Smash has a lot of future in like League slash like Dota kind of like monetization system where like they just keep adding on to the same game over and over until we get like 200 characters. So I feel like that's the best way to move forward. I don't know. I know that licensing is like a, can I say, it's a bitch, yeah. So like they're gonna like have to like work with like, you know, Konami and whatever just to get their characters right, but Sakurai has friends, so I think he can pull it. And then yeah, just rebalance the game, nerf DLC, make the next DLC not as, or like continue to patch the game for the long run. I think that would be that would just fix the game pretty much.
I get you. Alrighty, final question for you. Who would be better? Kazuya, but he can place blocks like Steve
Okay.
only to extend the actual like stage.
Mhm.
So he wouldn't be able to place walls or things like that or ladder and all that stuff. Or Steve with electric.
Still with electric, I feel like, because like it's more unlimited. It's like he gets a lot of like a better neutral and like a better punish on people that are approaching, so he can camp even harder. And then like once people find like a gap in his like wall play thing, he can just hit an electric and then like come into an out motion. The strength of Steve tools, like it kills just as early as Kazuya, so you will have like an insane neutral tool and combo starter. Well, like Kazuya, he can only place blocks like outside of the stage. Like what, his edge guarding gets better, and like that's kind of it. And it's not like his edge guarding is like that important to his game style. So I feel like Kazuya would not get that much better personally.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for your wise thoughts, oh Daniel TP.
Miyomi. Guillaume.
Alrighty.
Guillaume.